I'm sure you've heard it before. Like you can have a million problems in your life until your health fails. Then you have one problem.
Amen.
Welcome to Becoming Epic, the podcast for the ones who are counted out, the ones who've been knocked down more times than they can count, but still get back up one more time. This isn't for the perfect. This is for the underdogs, the misfits with big hearts, the ones chasing purpose, not permission. Here, we don't just talk about success. We talk about grit, discipline, heart. We talk about the courage it takes to rebuild yourself when no one is clapping. Because becoming epic, it's not a destination. It's a decision made daily. So if you're tired of the average, the excuses, the same old story, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Adam Berezowsky, and this is Becoming Epic. Let's wake the warrior in you, and let's fucking go.
Welcome back to Becoming Epic podcast. My name is Adam Berezowsky, and I am pumped for this week's episode. So this is Daniela. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. She came into my life in kind of a random time, but her story is pretty incredible. She's gonna bring a ton of value just because of not only her place in the fitness industry, as you could tell, because she's jacked. So just introduce yourself, kind of tell us how you got into fitness in the first place, and we'll just take it from there.
Okay, how I got to everything. I've been in fitness for a while. I came into your life at a very random time. I was working out of a garage because of COVID, and I had lost my gym that I was working with and out of also to COVID. So once I had to move out of the gym and had to move out of the garage, I was like, I need to go somewhere to continue training people because I had clients even through the pandemic. And I knew about your gym because I was working at CrossFit See Me, and all the local gyms, they know their other gyms as competition or maybe not competition because you're not CrossFit, because it was CrossFit See Me, but we knew about you because you were a box gym. So I was like, I'm going to check CrossFit 805 first. And then it was way too small and Joel didn't care and this and that. So I was like, okay, I'll check Epic Fitness. I've never been there before, so I'm going to give it a shot. And then I came in and you had the room that I'm currently working in now as just the station with spray bottles and towels. That's all you were using it for.
Yeah, it was like our clean room. It was like the stupid entrance thing, and one way in, one way out. Yeah, it was. You were trying to stay with those stupid protocols that were around. You didn't want to get shut down, so you have to play the game. So you were just using it for that, and before that, you were using it for the spin room, which was way too small for a spin room. 16 people in that room became a sauna really quickly. So it's like I really didn't have to invest in a sauna,
Seriously, no, and it, like you said, the walls were dripping and all that stuff. So I could just imagine. It still has the sticker on the door, Epic Revolution. So no one really knows that I'm in there, which is fine. It's perfect. And my clients love the privacy. Like it's a huge deal. But I came in and we talked about it. We instantly hit it off because we both love the same things. We saw the same things in each other. And you're like, okay, well, just 15%, what you make, try your best and whatever you got, give me that. And at least the room's being useful because it wasn't making you any money before.
Nope.
It was just holding spray bottles. So it's like better than nothing. And then also you have, a personal trainer that you can refer people to and everything like that. And then on top of that, we just became friends. Yeah. So like someone to work out with, push each other, like share stories. Cause like not everyone is as excited about PRs as we are.
That is true. I mean, it's like, I think I have the secret of as long as I can run faster than you, I'm good. Because I know I won't be as strong as you. So it's like, as long as I can beat you in the 5K, we're solid.
That's right. Exactly. And then I'm chasing you in the 5K. So I love the push. Like this makes me more well-rounded. Also, I'm not so like tunnel vision. It's really nice to have the people in Epic, have you as a motivation. And this space also, it changed my life because now I can actually run Zumwalt strength and conditioning because it was already my DBA, and I can run it now though, like from an actual place and say, this is Zumwalt strength and conditioning in here. It's in Epic Fitness, but this is the one. So it's changed my life. And you've asked me before, like if I want to expand, if I want to do this and that. And I like being on the smaller side because I mean, you're extremely successful. You're absolutely like the top end of somebody who owns a gym and is successful. But I also see how hard it is.
And how much hair I've lost.
Exactly.
For sure.
It's not that I'm scared of hard things. It's just that I enjoy the flexibility. Again, also, so I'm not also so pigeonholed.
Yep.
So like I do work here as my personal training business, and then I coach at 2 other gyms, and then I have a class that I teach out of Van Nuys inside of the corporate office of Munchkin. And I have those multiple revenues and avenues and everything in case one completely just blows up in my face. I'm not going to be like with nothing. So like say for whatever reason, which won't happen, it's been 10 years, but if I lost all my clients and I just said, I can't, train anymore. I have nobody, or I can't train for whatever reason, or like, say you kick me out or whatever reason. Like thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying if that were to happen, then I'm like, okay, then I'll do more classes. I'll do this, or I'll like pick up more corporate classes because the people there wanted more. And I'm like, well, I have this and this, so I have to delegate my time. So that way I never feel like a panic of like, I'm going to lose everything, because I did have that for a while with just the personal training. Because like I'd have like an awesome month, and then for whatever reason, I'd have a really terrible month because of all the cancellations. I do charge like late fees and last minute fees and everything, but people still have a life. Like I'm going to be gone for a week or two on vacation or something. Like I can't be like, no, don't go on vacation because then I won't get paid. So then it's like, and I can only stockpile so much money because everything's so expensive here. Yeah. It's not that I'm not trying. I have a Roth IRA, I have a savings, I have all that, but at the end of the day, I'm still working month to month to a degree.
And we work when people don't. So it's also challenging to make the time for yourself to be able to go on vacations because people depend on you.
100%. Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. So it's like, if I take any time off, I'm also losing money.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have to prepare for that and make sure I do this or that. And I'll always take on more people and, or like fits people in on like a day that I don't normally have them just to make sure I stockpile it then, but they can't do that all the time either.
Yeah, for sure.
So
let's kind of take it back a little bit because I think like obviously running a business, being a personal trainer, I mean, it's glorified on social media to be like, oh, I work with clients that do X, Y, and Z. But in the end, running a business it's a lot of work, to systemize it. And then for the business not to be reliant on you. So you have freedom, because freedom is the ultimate goal, right?
Yes.
So then like what got you originally into fitness and like what propelled this career path for you?
Okay, originally, yes. So I was in sports my entire life. Like I was the first daughter, and my dad made me the son that he wanted, right? And he was really into baseball at the time. Like he almost made it professional, but he broke his back working as a lineman and stuff like that. So that wasn't going to happen, or one thing or another. But he wasn't into baseball anymore. So of course, when I was born, he's like, immediately, we're going to get you into softball when we can. So I got into softball when I was like 5 or 6.
Awesome.
And I was playing, little baby softball, of course. And I did that for a few years, but quickly I became very bored of softball because I was like, if I'm not pitching or hitting, it's like standing in the field. It was so boring for me. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I'd already gotten the taste of like the team aspect, which I really loved because you get like instant friends in the team. I got like something to look forward to, that was in homework, stuff like that. Yeah. So I still wanted to do something. And also my mom was very helicopter mom. So since I was the firstborn, she was very attuned to like, okay, she's bored. She needs to do something. We have to get her into something, this and that. So it's like, okay, we'll get her into another sport. So then I did soccer. And then I did basketball in middle school.
Wow.
And because, girls go through the height, they get taller before anybody else. So I was tall back then. So basketball made sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did basketball, and then I didn't really take to it as much either because then everybody grew and it was like, I'm not really into it either. And shooting the basket wasn't very rewarding. So then I did swimming. I did competitive swimming. So freestyle was my thing, and I got a few medals, but that was like 8th grade. So now we're going into high school, and I went to a high school with 0 sports, like because it was better curriculum and this and that. And at the time, they did promise us that we would have a special shuttle system that would take us to Simi High or Royal, and we could do sports even if we did go to Santa Sue. But they just stopped it once I went. So I was like, well, never mind then. So then I did dance instead. So I did jazz, ballet, contemporary, hip hop, all that kind of stuff. So I did a lot of dance performances.
So that's where you get your sweet dance moves.
That's where it is.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Flexible. So I always did the contemporary and stuff because you didn't have to kick your leg very high or keep straight lines. I'm like, it's meant to be bent.
Oh my God.
It was on purpose because like the ballerinas had to be like really, really flexible.
Yeah.
So I did dance for 4 years. We only had to technically do it for 2 years. But again, I needed to stay active, do something that wasn't just homework and focus on that. So then once I graduated from high school, I was like, oh, I don't have any more like structured curriculum or somebody telling me what to do or something has to be done at a certain time, like for my activities. So then I kept getting these images and promos and stuff for a roller derby team.
Oh.
So I was like really interested in it. I was like, look at their promos and I'd look at their website and I'd look at their Facebook page. And I was like, I really want to do this. So I'm like 19 at this point, and we were still in Simi Valley and this team was in Oxnard. So I was like, but I had a car now. I was not in high school anymore. So I was like, I can drive myself to these practices, no problem. I got like the cheapest skates, the cheapest gear, everything, so I could do it. I was like the youngest on the team. And at the time, I was very skinny, not like I am now. I was much, much skinnier. So I was getting like thrown around the track. Like these women were like overweight, so they were large in that sense, and they'd already been skating for a while. So I was just, if they one hip check or shoulder check, and I went flying. So then I was like, I want to get stronger and faster, so I stopped getting thrown around on the track here, and I want to make it on a good team. Unfortunately, I was also smoking cigarettes at the time. So I wanted to do better on the team. So I was like, I'll quit cigarettes. I will get my cardio up so I can make the faster laps and everything. Because you had to do 27 laps on the track in 5 minutes, I believe. 27 laps in 5 minutes.
To be on a team?
Yeah, so make sure you can actually do one of the bouts with the team and everything. So I was like, I want to make that. And then I want to be also stronger so they stop knocking me over. So then I was like, okay, then I asked my dad for a gym membership. I was like, my first gym membership, I was 19 and I was like, I really want to go to the gym. I really want to work out. I need to build my strength. And then I would really like some personal training because I've never been to the gym. So he's like, oh yeah, I can absolutely do that. And my dad is very giving with money, thankfully. That is how he shows his love. So when I asked for it, he was more than willing, which was nice. So he bought me some training sessions, bought me a 24-hour fitness membership, and I've just been in the gym literally ever since. So my trainer, he was into CrossFit, and he was wearing some Nanos, which is a Reebok shoe at the time, because at the time, CrossFit was sponsored by Reebok. So they had these Nanos, and it had CrossFit all over it and everything. And then I was asking, of course, okay, like what shoes should I buy? Like all the questions you ask as a newbie, right, in the gym. And he's like, oh, these are the best they're flat, they're solid, they have traction, all the reasons you want a gym shoe. And it was a CrossFit shoe. So then I like got that. And then because I got a CrossFit shoe, I started getting CrossFit stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. And then I was curious because it was on my shoe. So I was like, I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, like that looks so challenging and hard. And I was getting so bored with, 3 sets of 10, do the leg press, do the curls, do this, take the break. I was like, oh. And I really took to the lifting heavy. I did some powerlifting as well. So like I went into CrossFit with big numbers for a female, but I didn't have form. I didn't have the technique because I still was new and I was stiff, very stiff.
Yeah.
So I
can't tie your shoes standing up stiff.
Yeah, I couldn't touch my toes for the longest time, even in high school. So then I have now some training under my belt. I've been in the gym for a little bit, and then at 23, I finally was making some money of my own because I was working retail. I was working Camarillo outlets because I lived in Oxnard. I lived on the beach for a while because we lost our house, so we had to move, and that's another story. But we were out there, so I was working at the Camarillo outlets. I was working at Oshkosh Bagosh, the kids store, and Under Armour because retail doesn't give you a lot of hours, so I had to have 2 jobs for it to be even worthwhile. And it was both at the outlets, so sometimes I forget which one I was at and be okay. I just go to the other store. But so I was making a little bit of money of my own, and then I was like, okay, I really want to try this. Because my dad was paying for my 24-hour membership, so that I was like, I want to pay for my own thing because he won't pay for that. Because now I'm 23, so it's he's a little less giving at this point.
For sure.
He's like, you got to take care of yourself. You're an adult now. So I got a Groupon, and I went to Code 4 in Camarillo because it was like my thought process was like, okay, I get off of work, I go to a class because it's like I lived in Oxnard, but I was in the outlets, so I'd go over there. And the Groupon allowed me to go to class for, I completely don't remember, maybe it was like 2 weeks or something like that. And I was hooked right away. It was intense. I was dying. It was like all these things that were not recognizable, like some of the movements and stuff, and it looked really cool. But they could tell I was like athletic, because I've done sports my whole life. I picked up on the things pretty quick. I was stronger than most beginners,
Yeah.
So they're like, the RX weight is, let's say 65. And then I immediately put 65 and they're like, oh, okay. So they're like, you can do that. And then when I was like, I can't afford it. I can't afford the monthly. I'm barely making it with this because I live with my mom right now. I work retail. I'm paying like my little bills, like, my car, the gas, and I help with electricity at the house. That was about it. So I'm still like barely making it with what I was making. And they're like, well, we want more athletic women like you in our gym because it makes us look good. And I was like, well, that's a compliment.
Yeah,
And they're
for sure.
like, let's work something out. So they're like, we are looking to also save money. So how about you are the janitor for free and you can work out here for free?
Oh.
So I cleaned toilets, I vacuumed, I cleaned the windows, I sanitized the pull-up bars, I, sanitized anything, got the cobwebs from the ceiling, all that stuff. So I did that every weekend so I could train there as much as I want. So then I was there for a little while, and the owner and a couple other people there, we wanted to enter a competition. So they're like, we need 2 men, 2 women. And they're like, oh, for sure, her and Daniela. Like, those are the women that we're going to compete with.
They were like, I'm not even going to ask everybody. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Correct.
Done.
Exactly. So the owner and his buddy wanted to, but they needed 2 females. So I was one of the females. And it was my first competition ever. It was a 4-person team. I forget the name of it now, but it's like some throwdown.
Yeah.
What's really cool, though, is the girl that I did it with, her name was Hannah Hall. And eventually, because she was like, I want to say like 15 or 16 when we were doing it. And I'm like 23, and the guys were even older. But it was her first time. So we were all kind of like on the same level. But then she was hooked also. She ended up making it to the games, which is like the Olympic level of CrossFit as a teenager.
Damn.
She like just went for it. She's so strong. So, but it's cool. Like that was our first competition for me and her. And then we did another one. We signed up for another one because we did so well on the first one. We actually podiumed and everything like that. We're like, we're going to do it again for sure. But then I got a new job because like retail wasn't cutting it anymore. And I was like so into the gym. People were always asking me advice like, what should I do? Can I go with you? Can I go with you? So I was essentially training for free. And then my mom was like, kind of like, okay, you're 24. Like, what are you going to do with your life? Like, you're just going to do this forever. She's like, people, you're always at the gym and people are always asking you, might as well get paid for it. And I was like, that's a thing. You can get paid for that.
Yeah, it is a service.
So she thankfully helped me out with the certification because at the time it was a very big number for me, $600.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, that's a lot at once. And she's like, if you're serious about this, I will pay for it. And then you do. And so I studied really hard. I did all the curriculum. And then I passed the test and I was like officially certified. So then I was looking online for personal training jobs, and Gold's Gym is always hiring because it has such a high turnaround rate.
Every big box gym has such a high turnaround. So it's like,
Honestly, yeah.
if you got a certification, it's almost a guaranteed position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I wanted to go to a gym that I liked, because I'm not a big fan of Crunch. I'm not a big fan of like, Planet Fitness or anything like that. So I wanted to go to a gym that I actually enjoyed, and I really loved Gold's because I'd been to Gold's after 24-hour fitness. That was like the upgrade for me.
For sure.
And I was like, I'd like to stay there if I'm going to spend all day there. So I put out my applications and everything, and then Simi Valley Gold replied back. So I was like, I guess I'm moving back to Simi Valley.
Oh, wow.
So I left Oxnard. I moved out of the house that I was living at with my mother. And I moved out with my boyfriend at the time and a roommate who was like a friend of mine. She needed a place too. So the three of us got an apartment here in Simi Valley. It was used to be called Crackside. It was Creekside.
Yep.
Now it's like Rancho something.
River
There you go.
Walk.
River Ranch or something.
Yeah, something fancy.
So that was right across the street from Gold's Gym. So it was great. So I was working like 12-hour days. You know, I would do welcome workouts, you know, because that's how you get like potential clients. And of course, the salesmen, they just schedule with someone. If you have a spot in your schedule, they just fill it.
Yeah.
And then I had a few clients and I got a couple from cold calling, but cold calling really doesn't work because if they don't want it, you can't like force it, you know? So I got a couple though from that. And I had them ever since. Like they were coming to Gold's to train with me. They weren't at Gold's, right? So then I was like, you know, I'm really tired of giving away 80% of my session to Gold's when I'm doing all the work.
100%.
Keeping the client, you know, I'm like, yes, they walked in the door. Yes,
I hate that big box gym model though. It's like you do all the work, we're going to take all the money and then we'll give you what's left.
exactly. I was getting 20% and they were charging these people like 90, $100.
Yeah.
And they were paying it and I'm getting like 20, $30.
Awful.
Oh, and we'll give you hourly rate on top of that. I'm like, oh, great. Thank you for minimum wage on top of my hard work.
And at the time it's like $7, you know? Yeah.
This was 2016 at this point. So I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. And then my clients that I've already had, I was at Gold's for 2 years. And so by the 2-year mark, I was like, okay, I think I'm over this. And I've had the same clients for 2 years. I mean, some come and went, but I had them. I was like, hey guys, I'm going to be at this gym. And then you just meet me there. And we'll start training over there. It's still in Simi Valley. So I was also coaching at CrossFit Simi at the time because when I did the second competition with the people at Code 4, I had left before we actually did the competition. So I was like, don't worry, guys, I'll train. I'll be ready for the competition. I won't just like move away and slack off. I'll be ready when it's time. So I was like, I have to find a CrossFit gym so I can keep training. And I went to CrossFit Simi and I told them my whole thing. And they're like, oh, well, and I was like, I'll be a janitor. That's what I had in my old gym. Like, I'll be whatever you need. And like, we already have a cleaning service, but you are certified. So one of our coaches are actually moving away with her family. So we have a spot available and we don't normally hire from the outside. We usually promote from the inside because we know that they have the box's best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And so like, but we'll take a chance on you. They kept calling me their stray cat.
You feed them once and they never leave. Yeah, for sure.
So I had that gym while I was also at Gold's Gym. And they were like, of course, a trial period because they don't know me. And I would shadow the head coach that they had at the time, this guy, Chris. So I was shadowing him. I did a couple classes here and there, and I still had my personal training gig at Gold's Gym. But then by the 2-year mark, I was like more familiar with the Gold's Gym model and not liking it anymore. And then I was also more familiar with everybody at the CrossFit gym. And then in the midst of this, I couldn't technically train anybody in CrossFit until I had an L1, which is like the level 1 for CrossFit.
So you were like NASM certified or A certified? What was your certification before?
I had Nesta.
A Nesta. Okay.
Yes, so I had that, and they're like, "That's great. You obviously have the knowledge and this and that." So then, because the person finally left, and my trial period was over, and I've shadowed enough classes, they were nice enough to comp me my L1. It was $1,000.
Awesome. Yeah.
So he worked for CrossFit. Andy Rios worked for CrossFit, and they were so sweet to like, you know, they're like, okay, you totally fit in here. You're doing a great job. We want you to stay. You clearly want to stay. So they comped me that so that way I could be certified to coach CrossFit as well. So then when I actually got some classes that were my own and I wasn't shadowing anymore, I was like, okay, I'm going to be here more full time. And we worked out a deal also where like they could save some money. They didn't pay me very much for coaching and for class, but also I didn't have to pay them to use the gym. So that was our deal, you know? So like you can have your personal clients in between classes and then you coach. And I was like, I'm down. I will do that. Perfect. So that's when I told my clients, I'm like, meet me at CrossFit Simi. And I gave them the address and then I just left and I just never came back.
Yeah. usually how it happens in that big gym.
I know, because it's like you don't want to sit down and talk to the manager,
I know.
and also I was really afraid of like any retaliation because I was technically poaching
Yeah.
clients. I'm like, they're technically mine,
Yeah.
but I'm taking them away from Golds, and I didn't want any hassle. So I just never came back, and my clients just started meeting me at that gym.
Wow.
I mean, I left so quietly, and my face was still on the screen with
Oh,
the
really?
trainers. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't know I left.
Like, where is this girl? She hasn't shown up for a shift. Well, I guess when you make your own schedule, it's the benefit.
For a while, like I'd kind of pop in there, maybe to use a treadmill, or the weather was like too gnarly, and then I'm just right there.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
And then around Simi Valley, people like see me and they're like, if I recognize you, because like my hair or something, it's like distinguishable. I'm like, where do I recognize you from? Like, do you go to Gold's Gym? They're like, that's what it is. So now I'm training my personal training clients and coaching at CrossFit Simi. And then I'm there from 2016 until 2020 when it closes. Because of the pandemic, it was hemorrhaging money. It was like it just couldn't make it. A lot of gyms closed down. Time. Like you're an outstanding example of, again, success in hard times, because that was worrisome, I'm sure, for you as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I built my school bus, because I thought my business was going to be closed down and I had nothing because it was in shambles. But
There
then
you go.
you just figured it out.
Exactly. So it's like, so a lot of them died, and it was devastating for me because it was truly like my home away from home. I was there all day long, happily. I enjoyed being there. You get close to everybody there.
Yeah.
And then, but I still had my personal training clients. So again, that's why the multiple revenues like really paid off, because that gym died, but I wasn't left with nothing. So then I was able to buy a lot of stuff from their liquidation sale when they closed down, like
smart.
the horse mats for the floor, barbells, dumbbells, bumper plates. I bought a lot of stuff so I could have like a starter gym. And they gave you a really good price because it was me and it was the liquidation sale. So I was able to afford it. And then I built a little gym in the garage of where I used to live with someone I was with before. And then my clients would meet me there. And it was nice because the garage was actually a add-on. It wasn't like a garage. So there was no door that would like connect to the house. So nobody would interrupt us. And it wasn't used for cars. So it was just a gym. It was just a garage gym, and it was great. And, everyone that I was training was just grateful to have somewhere to work out because, one, they're going crazy in their houses, two, they didn't want to get out of shape in this time. And also, three, it's a stress reliever because they're already stressed out with the state of the world. So at least one of my clients, you know her very well, Miss Pat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's wonderful. I was like the only person that she saw during the pandemic because everyone was scared to get her sick because she's on the elderly side. She doesn't look it. She
Definitely not. And she's got some sweet dance moves too.
Very true. But, because of her, she's a little older and everything, even her own family wouldn't come see her because they're like, we're scared to get you sick.
Oh,
so this poor lady is all alone in her house most of the day. And she didn't leave because, she was working from home. And so I was like visiting her twice a week for our sessions, and I was like the only person on the outside world.
Oh my God.
But in that time, she also like ended up needing a hip replacement. So I was able to help her get back on her feet from that. But yeah, it was a very strange time. So then when I moved out of that space and I no longer had the garage because we broke up, it was a toxic situation. We did the makeup breakup. You saw some of it. Very stupid.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, we all get in that one. At least we learn, hopefully.
Yes, for sure. It's all learning experience.
With him anymore. So I lived on my own. And then I was like, okay, now I need somewhere to train. And that's how we came back around. And then, like I said, started there, but it was a much better fit. And we got along right away. It was awesome. So you also took me in as a stray cat. You're like, this is a strange idea.
That I did. Yeah.
But it's like, but you're like, yeah, technically I'm making money in a room that's useless.
Yep. At the point.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like it's now being used, and it's usable for anyone else who wants to use it when I'm not in there. But now it has so many benefits because it's super private, which is a big marketable part for some of my clients because they're just so nervous about the gym and people watching them and everything. It goes away after a while, but it's very marketable at first. And then I even have a client where religiously she can't take off her hijab in front of men. So female trainer,
Yeah.
private space. She can take it off and work out and have a good time. Like, so it has a lot of good things. And then I always encourage people to bring their kids or bring a partner, you know, so they all feel very safe in that room. And then when they've been here a while, then if depending on the time, if there's no classes, of course, then we venture out into the big gym sometimes, which you are kind enough to share with me. So it helps also them, because I've had some people, they've left me because life stuff, you know, but we trained for a long time. And it's so nice to see them like brave enough to now go join a gym by themselves when they came to me scared of going to the gym.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm going to find a gym. I'm going to sign up. I don't even need personal training anymore. Daniela got me ready. I just need a gym. And I'm like, you came to me not even wanting people to look at you.
For sure.
So it's been an amazing ride. Like I came in 2021 here.
Wow, damn.
I know.
I think like a couple years ago you said something. It's been 2 years since I've been here. Now it's been 4.
Yeah, exactly.
What a trip.
I came here, I was 29 and I'm going to be 33 in November.
Holy crap. Damn, what a trip.
Time flies.
Yeah.
And I've seen this front room change multiple times.
This whole gym have changed multiple times. Like,
Paint.
oh yeah.
You moved, you got all those bikes up there.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
been awesome. But yeah, I love my little space and then all my little other avenues. It's like I get more outreach, more possibilities, more people, you know, it's nice that way. Because if I had a big space like this, I have no doubt that I would figure it out just like you have. But then your roots get so deep, you can't leave here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, so I do have a question, because I think a lot of people, especially the people I've had on so far, it's like they're on a journey, you know, they are seeking to the professionals for advice, for help, for accountability, whatever. Like as a trainer, you talk about the roots being so deep. Like, I don't know about you, but I get so attached to people.
Oh,
right?
Me too.
And so it's like, how do you separate? And then how do you deal with on the professional level, like putting so much effort into a person and a person's journey, and then be able to sleep well at night, knowing eventually they're going to leave you. Eventually they're going to go off and maybe do other things. Because that's been a struggle for me, just because like I care, I put everything I can and have to into a person. And they're like, all right, deuces, we're moving out of town. We're doing this, living my life. And I'm like, I just spent like 6 years of my life changing your life. So how do you deal with stuff like that?
Well, there are some clients that I've gotten that close to, and I cry.
Yeah.
I definitely cry. The goodbyes are hard, everything like that. But I also look at it with a sense of pride, like I said, kind of like, you know, raising children. Not that I have any of my own, but
That's a good way to look at
raising
it.
children, you expect them to be self-sufficient at some point. That means you did a good job.
Yeah.
Right?
For
If
sure.
your kid is not very self-sufficient and, you know, can't handle the real world or make anything of themselves, then you might have failed as a parent somewhere, you know, for one reason or another. So my job is to make these people stronger, better, more confident and everything. And yes, we do get close because we share our lives with each other, but I cry because I'm going to miss them, but I'm proud that they're brave enough and strong enough to go out on their own.
Yeah.
So then I take it as like as a point of pride. I'm like, I did a good job.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, because it's selfish also. Like if my mom never let me leave the house, I would hate my mother.
That is a very good way to look at it. And I've never actually looked at it that way, because again, like, you know, we again, yes, I think you hit the nail on the head. We treat them like they're our children.
Yes.
Like seeking advice, seeking the professionalism, seeking like learning boundaries,
Correct.
learning.
Yeah, like pushing through hard things, learning new things.
Yeah.
You know, this is uncomfortable, but you can do it. You know, there's tears, blood, sweat, tears, a lot of whining.
Yeah.
There's, you know, a lot of it, but it's like, then when they're like, okay, I'm ready to go do this, or like they come to you with like a life venture,
Yep.
you know, and then you see them like continuing what you taught them. You're like, I did make a difference. Like all my time invested meant something, because I still get messages from these people, even if they've moved away, even if they left or whatever. Like we still keep in touch. You know, social media helps also with the separation, because you can like kind of keep tabs here and there.
For sure.
But like I have one client, this girl Wesley, like we went to high school together, and she was not working out at the time. And then one day she was like, you know, way after high school, and I was here. I started with her maybe just a little bit when I was in the garage, and then we were here, and she was like, I'm ready to be in the gym and work out. But she was definitely one of those originally that was scared of the gym, very self-conscious of her body, of like doing it wrong, people judging her. It was too overwhelming. So we had the space at the garage that was private, and then we had this that was private. And then we got to the point where she was ready to actually sign up for a powerlifting competition.
Oh,
She never worked out before me.
Heck
She
yeah.
never lifted. And then I got her to the point where she was like, I was like, you're getting really strong.
yeah.
Like, what you would be good at is like powerlifting competition. And then she's like, we molded over more. Like I kept mentioning it, and to the point where she like got excited about it. And we did two together. I went as her coach. She got silver in the first one and gold in the other one.
Oh, awesome.
And she deadlifted over 300 pounds from
Holy-
going never deadlifting before.
Wow.
So it's like now she still messages me. She moved away. She got engaged, and then she's going to get married soon. So she moved in with her fiance at the time.
So cool.
And it was just too far away for her to logically come here anymore, which I
Yeah.
completely understand. But she still like texts me and messages me saying, I joined this gym, and she did it by herself. She does like spin class. She tells me how she did. She did have a meniscus tear that we were dealing with, and then she finally got it surgically repaired. But now that it's repaired, she's like, oh my God, I've lost so much strength. But because she had that fire under her that we like made under her before, she's like, I'm going to build my strength back up and maybe sign for another powerlifting competition.
Heck yeah.
Because it's like, so it gives her something to look forward to, where she went from like never being in the gym to like making it part of her life.
Yeah.
So it's like, so my time, our time together, like I miss her. We miss each other. We wish it was like logistically easier to see each other every day and still train together.
Totally.
But it's just not, and, but it was not a waste of time because of this.
Yeah. No, and like I don't feel like any relationship that we build is a waste of time, because
No.
again, it's just like, the us feelers, I guess I'll say, because I'm a feeler, like my personality type. It's like I want to continue to be the one to inspire and push and do all that stuff. But you're right, like letting them go and pursue, because if the gym became a place of happiness and health for them in the future, like that was all of our impact.
Correct.
It wasn't just the fact that like we got them in shape and all of a sudden like they go back out into the world. Like the gym became their happy place. So whether if
Correct.
it's with us or without us, I think that that's huge. I mean, you definitely opened my eyes a little bit. 'Cause I'm
Oh,
like,
there
I
you
don't
go.
want anybody to leave. I want everybody to stay here. Like, let's just all like,
I love them all. I
totally.
really do. But if you love something, you got to let it go.
True.
And sometimes they
Yeah.
come back. I've had clients leave for a little bit for, one reason or another. And then they like either miss me, or they actually start to physically see they're like, oh, I'm not doing this by myself. It was a reality check. Like I need her to actually tell me what to do because I want my body back. So they come back, and sometimes they live in town, so it makes it easier to go back and forth. But yeah, overall, like all the time and effort and everything, like it's all worthwhile. It makes it worth getting the early mornings, the late nights, like squeezing in food in between people, like squeezing in my workout, because I'm like, these people are better off because they're coming here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I want to talk about this because this is everybody talks about the magic pill, what the next diet fad is, but like, when it comes down to it, there's two factors. It's discipline and consistency, right?
Correct.
And watching you do what you do, because it's like, yes, you are servicing people. You're on the foregrounds. Like I'm on the business ownership side where I'm not training, producing as much as I was. I mean, I still coach because I would
Yeah.
but like, where do you feel like, how did you create the discipline that you have? Right. And then like, what's the mindset that you keep to keep it going on the days that you are 12 hours deep and you only have 1 hour to do your workout? So let's talk about that.
So the number one thing that keeps me going is I want to practice what I preach.
Yeah.
So I tell my clients, the fact that you have the time scheduled with me is what's keeping you consistent. And then that's why the people that like realize they can't do it themselves, they're like, this is just who I am. I know this. So I just have to have it scheduled to stay consistent. So I have to also practice what I preach. Also, I've been fit most of my life versus not being fit, being unfit, because I've been fit most of my life and my entire adult life. So I don't want to lose that feeling because I have been injured before. And it reminded me even more, like you could have all this taken away and feel like crap all day long.
Yeah.
So since I know what it feels like to feel good, to feel fit, to feel strong, I never want to lose that feeling, because to feel weak, to feel like crap all day, to be like, tired for no reason, for everything to hurt. I'm like, I don't want that, because this is something I can actively work on and prevent. It's in my control.
Yeah.
A lot of people do get used to feeling like crap and that's their norm. But I know what it feels like to be fit, because I've been doing it just pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
And the couple times that I wasn't in the best mindset because I made a couple bad decisions, and one was because I was hurt, it really just reinstilled that it's like I like feeling good and I know what it takes to feel good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. And then sometimes on the hard days, I take videos of my workouts and make little TikToks and little things like that and put them together with like cool music and stuff.
Yeah.
So then when I'm like really unmotivated, I just watch my own videos. And
Be like, I will not be fat. I will not be fat.
oh wow, she can like lift over 200 pounds and like put 300 pounds off the ground and like do muscle ups. I won't be able to do that if I don't go back in the gym. I have to stay going to the gym. I don't want to lose that version of me. So it's like, if I want her to stay alive, that version of me, I have to go get my butt off the couch.
I mean, it's funny in being in the fitness space where it's like, I was fat most of my life, not athletic, not into sports. I was like the kid that was in every sport that sat on the bench watching all the kids play sports, because my parents tried to put me in everything: softball, soccer, or softball, baseball, soccer, hockey. I mean, I was okay at hockey, okay-ish. But it's like, it's so hard to like during making a sale. Because like talking to somebody about their goals, talking to them about like what it's going to be like when you do get into the best shape of your life. Like, to me, it's like you want to strangle someone, because you know that they're going to feel the best that they've ever felt. You know that they're going to be in the best place mentally that they've ever been. You know that everything that we do is going to make their lives a million times better. But then they still come up with the two main excuses. One, I can't afford it. And two, what was the other one? Oh, time. I'm too busy.
Yes.
And it's like, and those two just make me cringe. And I understand like the financial stress of life. Like, yes,
Absolutely.
it's like we all have our financial obligations, but it's like, why are we not part of that obligation?
Exactly.
And like, I think that that's the hardest part in the fitness space, because I'm like, I have somebody who's sitting here who I know what we can do can change their life tenfold, and then get a return on their money that they do spend based on health, and get rid of all the medications that they're on, give them actually more time, because they're going to be more productive. They're going to be able to do the things that they're going to do, because they don't need 2-3 hours in the gym working with a trainer or being in a gym like this. But it's like, it drives me nuts.
And
that's part of it.
That stems also from how they were raised, because also that is where I get mine, is because my mother was a gym rat as well. She had the privilege of being a stay-at-home mother. So my father made enough to provide for the three of us to be at home, me, my little sister, and my mother.
Yeah.
So she was a very hands-on mom, very, very good mother. She was in all our stuff, but, she had time to herself. So she would, when we were in school, she'd be at the gym. And then when we got old enough, she had a day off, or like we were not in school one day, she didn't skip the gym. She just took us to the kids center. So like it became normal for me to be at the gym, and I always saw my mother at the gym. And then as I was getting older, my mom stayed beautiful and vibrant. And my father, who does not work out whatsoever, he did make all the money and provide for us, but he didn't make any time for himself because he was a workaholic, and he would work straight through the night. He would be, working 12, 16-hour days, which is really difficult. I understand that, but it's like he made that more of a priority when he was already making enough money, and it's like, there's a point, like he was covering the bills and some, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you're making enough money. So it's like, maybe instead of a 16-hour day, let's do like an 11-hour day. And you're already going to work those other 5 hours. Just go to the gym, go shower, go to bed early, and then go back and work 11 hours if you're really going to do that.
Yeah.
But he, prioritized that, even though, like I said, we provided for, he made enough, then some. So my mother stayed vibrant, healthy, everything. And my dad just kept continuously going downhill. My mom did get a unfortunate bout of cancer. But it was from an outside source of HPV. You know, she's an adult,
Yeah.
the two consenting adults. She can live her life. You know, they
Yeah.
were no longer together. But men who are carriers of HPV have no symptoms. But in a woman, if left untreated, it turns into cancer.
Oh, no shit.
So it's like, you know, no one's judging her for her choice to sleep with someone,
Yeah.
but unfortunately that's what happened in
Yeah.
that scenario. So it wasn't because she was unhealthy. It wasn't because she did this or that. But because she was so healthy going into the insane treatments you have to go through for cancer
Yeah.
was a big reason she survived, because it was so gnarly.
Wow.
She lost so much muscle mass. She lost so much, but she had muscle mass to lose.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't have anything to lose, it's like what's going to just kill everything else. Yeah.
At that point.
She was, you know, pretty down to nothing. But again, she knew what it felt like to feel good. She'd been healthy. She'd been fit most of her life. She was riding bikes with a bike team in Colombia before she came to the States. She would ride a road bike here. She would go up like Mount Baldy area and then come down. They used to live in like Panorama area. Like, so she's always been fit. And then she had the gym with us because like going on a long bike ride with kids is not as feasible.
Totally.
And then when she was pregnant with both of us, you know, they had different information back then. You know, that's not her fault either. She was definitely more sedentary than she probably should have been. But the second she was given the okay to exercise, she was on it. Like I was in the little stroller and she was finding the biggest hill in town, and I was going up that hill and down that hill multiple times. I mean, you're familiar with Simi, you know, the Yosemite Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she would do, that's the one because it was near the house that we lived on. So she'd go up past McDonald's and back down. Then she'd go back up and then down. And then then she got pregnant with my little sister, same thing, was a little more sedentary, you know, ate and everything to her heart's desire, gained 60 pounds. And then again, when she got the go ahead to work out, she was on it. So now she had my little sister on her back, me in the stroller, and back up that hill.
Yeah. That is awesome. Yeah.
What it felt like to feel good. And she's like, this doesn't feel good. I'm so happy to have my babies, but like, I want to feel good. So
Totally.
she always was the example that like, if you do this, this is how you'll look, or like, this is how you'll feel.
Yeah.
And then my dad was the opposite. So like, he has so many health issues. Like this poor man has diabetes, neuropathy in his legs, he's blind. He's had a massive heart attack. He's had 3 strokes. He's had, he also had some major accidents when he was younger, but those are the ones that he caused himself,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
There's those self-inflicted ones.
Exactly, because it's type 2 diabetes. It's not type 1, you know. And when he was younger, yeah, he broke his back and he had like a head injury and he had jaundice and he got hepatitis from other bad decisions and everything like that. But those were the ones that were self-inflicted and he's like struggling with daily now. Like
Wow.
I remember my dad, you know, when you're young, your dad's like this superhero, like
Totally,
so
can do
strong.
everything.
Like he, you know, he was naturally strong and he was a Marine at one point. So he was fit at one point, but then he just kind of let it go because of work. But when I was a kid, he was still like strong and he still had it in him and everything. He had the, you know, the Marine mustache and everything like that. And I always felt safe with him. But then like not too long after like my parents separated, I was only 10. So like not long after that, he just kind of, he was single now and he was like with a new person and they just didn't have the same ideals as my mother. So he just kind of kept letting himself go. And now his girlfriend is his caretaker.
Yeah.
She's essentially a nurse.
Wow.
Like without her, he would be dead.
Yeah.
Like because he's blind and he has all those issues. Like she's the one that drives him to the doctors, gives him the medicines, makes sure he's okay, makes sure he's never alone. You know, stuff like that. And where my mom, like, she goes on a run every morning.
Yeah.
And they're only 2 years apart.
Wow. Yeah. It's so crazy. I know so many parents that don't allow the time for themselves because I've learned this now that I'm a parent because I can say it now as a parent. Kids are going to mimic what you do as an adult.
Absolutely.
They are not going to follow the same things that you told them to do if you are doing something completely different.
It's so true.
And for everybody that's listening, that's a parent, because this, you know, however many times, however many sports, if you continue to make your kids' lives as busy as possible for you not to do something, that's exactly what they're going to do as an adult.
Exactly.
And it's like, it drives me bonkers because it's like, you know, my whole family always, I've said this a bunch of times. I think sometimes I'm the most selfish person because I put myself first. I have to get my workouts done. I have to do my things prior to anything for my daughter, and it's like, and sometimes, unfortunately, if it doesn't fit in our schedule, then she doesn't do it. And it's like, there is a level of like parent guilt. But then again, if I'm going to let myself go, that's her expectation as an adult.
Exactly.
And I had the story today. One of my clients showed me a picture of her 6 or 7 year old daughter stretching and getting ready for a run because she wants to go out for a run because her mom and dad do it every day.
Yes.
And it's like so many people when it comes down to leadership as a parent, right? And I think that this is the greatest lesson in fitness in general, is because it's like they are going to mimic everything that they see. And no matter, again, they could be in every sport possible. They could, your parents you could be the coach, you could do this, you could do that.
Yes.
But then again, you're still putting yourself last.
Exactly. Yes. My dad was a coach for a lot of my little, like, cause he loved the softball, and the soccer. He was involved in that sense. But my mom was the one that was actually going to the gym.
Yeah.
She was the one that was actually staying fit. She was the one that would like actually leave the house for a run or something and then come back. So it's like, as a teenager, you're like, that's stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like now in my 30s, and I've been doing this since I was 19.
Yeah.
Like that is proof that my first instinct when I joined the roller derby team was like, I need to get stronger and faster. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Not like I'm helpless. Oh, why am I not where I want to be? Like, no, I know how to get there. I saw it happen.
Yeah.
I see it still. Like my mother is in great shape.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't matter what they tell you. Like, of course she would tell me also like, you need to get moving, get your butt moving, get your butt moving. But it's like, when she told me, I didn't want to do it.
Totally.
I was like, get away from me. Stop telling me what to do. Leave me alone. But then when she left me alone and I got a little older, a little more mature, that was my first thought. Was like, I'm going to the gym.
Because like true happiness is built on yourself. It's not built on somebody doing something for you or you doing something for somebody else. It's you taking care of you. And it's like
nothing builds self-esteem and confidence more than like keeping promises to yourself.
Totally.
Because like also like you feel like a piece of shit when you're helpless.
Yep.
Being helpless feels terrible.
Hell yeah.
And like that was definitely something that my mother showed me. Like, even though she wasn't working, like that's not the only thing that shows that you're capable.
Yeah.
She was still raising us, dealing with my dad, making sure everything was going well. And then also on top of that, she looked fabulous, felt great, had good relationships. Like she was still doing it all, just didn't have a paying job.
Totally.
It's like, you still can be very capable.
Yeah. And again, like no job, even if you are like the sole proprietor or you're a single parent, like no job should overcome your health. Because again, like,
yes.
And this is the whole time thing, right? There's not enough time. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. I'm sorry. That excuse is just like, it's so burned out.
It really is.
So it's like, cool. I understand our schedule does not work for most, and that's okay. But there's other gyms out there that will.
Yes.
So it's like,
yes.
And to me, it's like, okay, you're going to wait till the right time. But usually the right time is when you're forced to focus on your illness.
And it's too late.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. Sometimes like people are so far gone.
Totally.
When they're like, I'm ready. And you're like, well, now your arthritis is out of control.
Yep.
Your heart condition is out of control.
Yep.
We have to take it so... Like we have to be so light and like fragile with you. We're not even going to see that great of results.
Yeah.
Because you're so far gone. Like you let your body deteriorate that we don't have much to work with.
Totally.
So it's like the time thing, it's like, yes, everyone has a different day.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I don't have children. And I like to work out. It is my passion. I like to compete in CrossFit competitions. I love my job. So I can be in the gym for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But you can also get a really good workout in 20 minutes.
Totally.
And have your kids join, whatever it takes. And that's going to be, again, that's going to show them what's possible. And also, like, if you put your job over that fitness, they'll replace you tomorrow if you die today.
Amen.
They don't care.
Praise
But
it. Preach it. Preach
your
it.
kids are going to miss you.
Totally.
My mom died, but she was the number one person in the company. No one gives a shit about that.
I know.
Yeah. You don't have a mom.
What are you going to get ownership in the company that you just sold for and made them a bunch of money for you to live their dreams and you not to live yours?
Exactly. And I mean, at the end of the day, like money is something that we're forced to deal with because it's how society runs.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm happy with just enough.
Yeah.
Because then freedom. I have more freedom to have time for me and do what I want and also not do what I don't want to do.
Yep.
Because that's also a big freedom.
Yeah.
I'm not stuck in a place in a rut from like, this is the only way I can survive.
Totally.
So it's nice to have the flexibility, my health for it, you know, because also if I did lose everything, I have these skills, I have my health.
Yeah.
So I can like rebuild and be okay instead of being like, oh, without that, I'm done. I'm screwed. So it has a lot of benefits. Like if you have to put yourself before work, you have to put your relationships before work.
Yep.
You have to put all that before work because they don't care about you.
No.
They really don't. That whole family, you know, especially in corporate jobs, you know, very especially like say you're a family, it's so they pay you less and they don't give you bonuses because you're family. Like you love it here, don't you? We love you. It's like,
let me just suck all the life out of you. Yeah.
So I always tell my clients, I'm like, they'll replace you tomorrow if you died today. Like you can work yourself to the bone and no one's going to remember you at that company.
Totally.
No one's going to care, but your family's going to care.
Yeah.
Like the people close to you are going to care. So why don't you stick around for them? It's healthy, be strong. And then also, you know, prioritizing the time with them will go way further than just prioritizing the job. So like, do what you need because we're all going to die anyway.
Amen.
So it's like, how much money can I bring to the grave anyway? You know, it's like, there's a limit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, it's nice to have more because you can do more in the moment.
Yep.
But if it's gonna sacrifice all that other stuff, like your health and the time with your loved ones, then it's too expensive.
Yeah. No, there's no such thing as value on health. And that's again, like coming from the professional who sees what this can do. Like there's no medication that will even come remotely close to make you feel the way that we feel, to make you feel. There's no other form of health care than you taking care of your health. Like, you know, most doctors are just going to be like, oh, here's the pill, here's this, here's that. Like, this is the book that they go off of. But nowhere in that book, it's eat clean, work out, you know, do X, Y, and Z, and then you're going to have that health.
Exactly.
And it just drives me bonkers because the healthcare system is not healthcare. It's keeping people ill.
Yes. Or they're just there for the fix. Like they're fixers.
Totally.
You know, because modern medicine is like because of technology. Like as human beings, we have gotten more progressively faster because we've had the tools to go faster.
Yeah.
So modern medicine is like technically a miracle. Like if you were to go back even 100 years and show them what we have now, they'd be like,
robots doing surgeries and
we have it's like it does this to your body. They're like, that doesn't sound real. So like, yes, modern medicine is a technological miracle, but it's a fix, you know, for that one problem.
Totally.
And if you fix that one problem, it usually comes with the cost of some other things. Yeah, that's where the side effects come in. So it's like we are in an era now with so much technology and everything that we forgot that we have all the tools naturally built into us already. Yeah. Because we're like, it's so amazing, everything we have at our disposal. Like our phones, you know, for information. We can see somebody with medical knowledge right away, the medical knowledge that we have. But we forget that like we have the tools already biologically built in for survival and for all those feel good things that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So it's like before antidepressants, before, you know, all that stuff, it's like, yes, they were probably drinking alcohol and those people would die.
Yeah.
Then the ones that didn't have it, like they'd go like out and do something. They like work with their hands. They'd garden, go on a long walk, you know, to clear their head because they didn't have their phone to look at. Yeah. And then they'd feel better. Yeah. Like we have it built in, even though those things are like right there. It's like those are supposed to be a last resort. Yeah. Like there was nothing else. Because also that's why human beings are living longer than we ever were technically supposed to live.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like we're going 100 years old is not even like, you don't even flinch at that anymore.
I know.
This person's 100th birthday. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Before it was like, how did you do it?
I know. For sure. For sure.
Because of that, we're alive a lot longer than we ever were supposed to be. But we biologically have a certain fail safe, certain things that keep us going, and we just don't utilize it because it's too hard. Yeah. It's painful.
And that I think is coming down to like how weak society is getting on doing hard things. But it's funny because it's like you're going to do hard things in your life regardless, right? But if it's emotional, physical, medical, like every aspect of it, you're going to do hard things. But it's like, again, creating the discipline, creating consistency of knowing that these things are going to happen no matter what. So why would you not be prepared more?
I agree. I think it's because they need to be to that point where they have no choice. Yeah. Because if you give someone a choice between comfort and discomfort, they always lean towards comfort.
Yeah.
But they don't see the big picture because
Yeah.
they've never felt what it's like to be fit.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this is normal, and it's more uncomfortable to go do the workout.
Totally.
It's like, but do you realize how comfortable your whole life would be?
I know.
If you're fit? But it's like, again, like you said, we can't just like plug it into them or like give them what we're feeling so they know what they're
that's what-
working
Yeah,
towards.
that's what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build like as they sit in my chair to talk about their goals and like what the future looks like, that they feel it. Like
Exactly.
if I can create the machine to do that, to be like, oh, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like.
And they
to-
get like a taste of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
like
But that's also where my motivation, again, intrinsically comes from, is because I want to continue to be an example.
Yeah, for sure.
And show them. And like one of my clients are like, wow, how do you do that? How are you able to do that? I could never do that. That's crazy. And I'm like, that's because I do it every single day.
Yeah.
I didn't just wake up and be like, oh, I could do this. No.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been working at it
Yeah.
for a long time, and I have to keep working at it to keep my success, so to speak, because it can also get taken away.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, that's the big picture. I don't want to lose this. And then I try and show them by example. I'm like, okay, if you think I'm amazing,
Yeah.
you can be amazing too.
Yeah.
If you like this.
For sure.
So that's how I try and do it. So it's like, yes, I wear like, clothes to show it off. I do the competitions because I'm showing them that I'm like on purpose signing up for something very difficult.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
they look at the workouts and they look at my events and they look at what I did and they're like, I could never. I'm like, you could.
Yep.
You could. You just won't.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why, like, with just like community, if you surround yourself with people doing things like that, it's just going to become infectious.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I didn't learn this until I started running, because the running community is very similar to this, right? Because it's like, oh, you ran a half marathon, 13 miles. That is crazy. To some, that's like a
Tuesday.
a Tuesday jog, and then it's like a marathon. That's just freaking crazy. And then like to some, it goes, there's levels to it, right? Because
Exactly.
like a marathon is some people's warm up, and so
Exactly.
it's like,
But those people didn't just jump out of bed
totally.
and run a marathon.
Totally.
Like, they came to running club, they did their running workouts, they did what they needed to do to reach that and perform that.
Yeah.
So it's like they have that feat, and it's like, we don't really do these for the awards, for the medals, for the trophies, because at the end of the day, no one cares about that except the person who got it.
Yeah.
Because nobody goes home and is like, remember when Adam got the medal? That made me feel good.
Yeah.
It's like, no one cares.
Even though like I do have my wall of fame, look at all of it, because it is amazing, and you guys can do it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's to show, because you're leading.
Yeah.
You're leading from the forefront. You're leading by example.
For sure.
That's what that's for. But it's like my score, so to speak, like my fastest time or something, or like my placement in a competition.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no one's going to go home and be like, oh, she placed 12th. I'm going to kill myself. Like, no one else cares but me.
Yeah.
Right? But the fact that I did it is what everyone's like, I could never. And so I'm showing them that I'm purposefully signing up for something very difficult, because I'm dying from the workouts. When people are like, oh, I'm out of breath. I'm like, you don't think I'm out of breath when I'm doing these workouts?
Totally.
I'm very much out of breath, but I'm doing it because it's for the feeling afterwards, for the benefits afterwards. I always tell my clients, I'm like, working out is like the opposite of drugs.
Totally.
Like, you feel great when you're on drugs and you feel terrible when you're done with them. With working out, you feel kind of terrible during.
True.
And
Okay.
then you feel
Yeah.
great afterwards.
Because it definitely is a drug, for sure. Yeah.
But you have to, it's harder to get to the high.
Yeah.
It has
Well, you have to earn the high.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
for
much,
sure.
much scarier,
You don't
stronger
just
barrier. Exactly.
whatever you have to
And
get.
that's why it's opposite. It's like super easy, very comfortable, just real. Doesn't take much work.
Yeah.
And then you get the feeling, but then you feel like shit when you have the come down.
Totally.
And then with working out, you feel like shit during, because it's hard. It hurts. It's hard to breathe. You're sweating. Everything's making like the signal to your brain, stop. And you're like, no. And then when you're done, you're like, wow,
Yeah. Like, what is this feeling?
so good. I mean, you have the tattoo of
I do.
the runner's high.
Runner's high.
It's a real thing, but it just has the dealer, so to speak, is going to beat you up before you get your high.
And I'm willing to outrun that dealer
Exactly.
because the end result is so
worth it.
good.
I'm like, I'll do whatever you tell me. I want that,
Yeah. Well, this has been great. I feel like when it comes down to like value give, right? And so many people are on the fence because nowadays with after COVID, I think people are finally stepping up to taking care of their health. Like if somebody, because like it's hard because you've been an athlete majority of your life,
have.
right? Like if somebody who has not been there, right, and who cannot see, because like feeling comfortable is just not comfortable, right?
Correct.
Because comfortable is never comfortable.
Exactly.
You know, so just like to me, like sitting down and like eating bonbons, that's not relaxing to me.
That stresses me out.
Totally.
Because I know what's happening.
Yeah. And so like what would be some advice coming from a trainer's perspective to somebody who is just like, who's like, I can't do this. Like, what would be your best advice to somebody to just bite the bullet? They're worth every penny to spend to scratch the surface to feel at their best.
Well, to feel, I mean, obviously, like feeling good is something everyone hopes for. So it's like that's what we try and show them. But it's like if they're scared to do it, if they can't take the leap, that is why it's nice to not do it alone.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest thing, unfortunately, you can't force anyone to do anything. That is the big thing. I know. There are some people that I'm like, I would just come in your house and I'd just be like, up, 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 up.
Yeah, totally.
But you can't force anyone to do anything. It's like an addict, you know, like they have to hit rock bottom sometimes before they show up.
Yeah.
But I would continue to show them their progress, like, because, you know, they think they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They think this is a waste of time.
Totally.
They're like, okay, cool. You are fit. That's cool. But I'm not fit. I'm not there yet. This is taking a long time. I hate it and everything like that. And it's like, so since, you know, they have to come in. I can't force anyone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I use reminders that I don't care about how much you weigh. Like, obviously, there's an unhealthy amount and everything, but that's not our first focus.
Yeah.
I use the numbers on the barbell or on the dumbbells as progress markers or like times. I'm like, those numbers are facts. Like, you either pick it up or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, I had a big meal or I'm bloated or it's that time of month or I drank last night, so your weight goes like this, and then it gets discouraging.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that 200 pounds, can you pick it up or not? There's no lying. And then when they're like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm like, do you remember like 6 months ago when you only could pick up 100? So
Totally.
then they're like, I am improving. And then they start to realize I did this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but the biggest thing I would say is like, if you are feeling crappy in your body, if you don't like what you see in the mirror, like that's on you, unfortunately. So self-esteem, confidence comes from within because that is a concept inside ourselves. Then it's okay to ask for help. That is why you and I exist. That's why these places exist. That's why group classes are so effective because everyone else in the class is also kind of on the same page. Whether they're on a different chapter, they're on the same thing. They're all suffering in the class together.
Yeah.
Whether this person's doing it with 5 pounds or this person's doing it with 50 pounds, you're all doing the same workout.
Yeah.
It's like misery loves company. And then also humans are very social creatures.
Totally.
So it's like if you just work at your desk all day long or like you work from home and you never leave, of course you're depressed.
Yeah.
Like most people are depressed because they just sit and think. They're just sitting and thinking about scenarios that are never going to happen or have happened. And then they're just thinking. It's like, how about you do?
Yeah.
Go do something. And then you get out of your head, first of all. And also, you got to have something to think about instead of like imaginary things.
Totally.
So it's like if I'm just sitting here creating imaginary scenarios and then hurting my own feelings or being scared of this or sad about this and it's never happened or never going to happen.
Yeah.
How about you go do something and then you can have a feeling about that?
Yeah.
It's like, and usually apart from the endorphins and the physical aspect, now you have memories and actual tangible things to think about and worry about and actually care about instead of just sitting there being like, oh, life's so hard. But you're like, what's hard? Because you haven't done anything.
Totally.
Go do something hard and then say it's hard.
Yeah. I heard this quote the other day, and I think it goes hand in hand, is that every single thing that's happened in your life is your fault.
100%.
And it's like once you learn to take responsibility, because like there's certain things that, yes, genetic things you cannot change, right? But you don't need to be a victim of it.
Correct.
But it's like the second you learn that literally everything that you have and everything that you've done in your life is your fault. Take ownership, take responsibility, and do something about it. Because again, you can either talk about it or you can actually do something about it.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Don't talk, just do. And when it comes down to being in a place or working with a trainer, the reason why we're so expensive is because you need some skin in the game. Like, I think this is the misconception of like, a big box gym. Big box gyms are there to make you fail.
That's true.
$10
and
a
they're
month.
just providing a room. Yeah.
$10 a month. We don't care if you show up or not. We won't call. We won't do nothing as
Yeah.
long as you're paying your bill every month. And then if you don't, we'll call you to make sure you pay your bill. You
That's
know, and other than that, none. Personal trainers, boutique places that are higher dollar, higher value,
Correct.
they care. Like
Exactly.
they are going, you have skin in the game because you are going to show up for 200 and something dollars a month.
Yes.
You're going to put in the effort for that. Because if not, it's going to stink, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, oh, well, I'm just wasting money. No, technically you're not wasting money. You're wasting your life because you're not doing something with that.
Correct.
So it's like, that's the hardest part for me. Cause it's like, you know, and the people, not even just me, just people that invest into their health, they are investing the money to be able to be held accountable to a higher level.
yes.
And it's like,
we care if they're not there, and we care
100%.
how they're doing. Like
100%.
You've had clients for years also.
Yep.
And we've been with them through deaths and births and marriages and divorces and, you know, and all that stuff. And then we make sure that we remind them that this is still important
Yes.
amongst all the other very important things that are going on in their life as well. This is still important.
Yep.
And we're here to hold your hand through it. So that way you get out of that dark time
Yep.
and you come out with it still with your health intact.
100%.
Because like some people, when they're in a really bad situation, like a divorce or a death, you know, of a loved one, that's extremely painful. There's a real feeling. That's a real pain. But if you let yourself go in that sadness and like, say you eat yourself, you know, like you get huge because you're eating your feelings.
Yep.
You don't see anybody anymore. You isolate yourself. You stop moving. Now you're going to come out of the sadness because it's going to pass at some point and you'll learn to live with it.
Yep.
And then you'll come out of it with a new problem because now you're fat, you're not able to move, you have new health problems, everything hurts. It's like, so you're gonna be doubly sad.
Yeah.
So we're here
Doubly
you're gonna be sad because you lost somebody and now you lost yourself in the process.
For sure.
So it's like and also the money that you're paying, the higher end, you're also paying for our time.
Yeah.
Because nothing's more expensive than time. Like
Yeah.
I will never be 23 again.
Yeah.
I will never be 30 again. But it's like I've given those years of my life to my clients.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my hour. Hi, bud.
Burpee always has to make an appearance.
He's like, I'm bored over there. I hear them out there without me. But also like my time is very valuable because not only am I trying to be the example,
Yeah.
I'm working hard behind the scenes for you. I care about what you're doing. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to be for you. And I have all the knowledge. Like I make it look easy because I put the work in.
Yep.
So you're paying for the shortcut of my knowledge.
Totally.
You know, so
Totally.
you're paying for my time of my life
Yep.
and you're paying for the knowledge that I have to give you.
Yep.
And you get all the other services on top of that, which is the cheerleading, the programming, videographer,
Yep.
you know, picture taker,
Therapist.
therapist,
Yeah.
you know, you're getting all that in the hour happily.
Yeah.
Like I'm not putting myself out there because I don't want to do it.
Totally.
But yes, you have to have skin in the game because
Yeah.
it has to hurt, but you're also literally paying for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I mattered too. So it's like we're doing this together.
Yeah. But that's also why, like, also showing like what value is, right? Because it's, again, time is so valuable.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
and that's the one thing, like, you cannot use money to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why not expedite it to pay somebody else to get more time back?
Exactly.
Because it is.
Because that's really what it is. When you have your health, because I'm sure you've heard it before, like you can have a million problems in your life until your health fails. Then you have one problem.
Amen.
One problem now. That's
There's-
the only thing. Yeah.
The mic drop of the whole episode. Yeah.
All of a sudden, those problems are not problems anymore because you have to worry about your health.
Yep.
It's like, so if you take care of that, everything gets easier and you have less problems overall because you're more capable.
Yep.
You know, like being helpless, being useless, being, you know, so you have just less problems when you're capable too. So that's another thing that I, you know, practice what I preach. Yes, I'm not in my 70s. I'm in my 30s right now.
Totally.
But that's what I tell my clients who are in their 70s. I'm like, I want you to be capable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, nothing makes you feel more scared, alone, isolated, and fearful of the world when you don't think you can handle going on a walk by yourself,
Yep.
you know, in your own complex or neighborhood, or you can't get your own groceries. So you stop going to the grocery store. You know, it's like being capable is the number one thing.
Totally.
And then, yes, if vanity is a nice motivator as well,
Yeah.
you know, that's a great one. But the main thing is the longevity. It's like, so like some of my clients, when they first came to me, they hadn't been on the floor in a long time. They didn't even
Wow.
realize it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to get on the floor. And they looked at me like, And I'm like, you haven't been on the floor in a while. That's why we're going to get on and off the floor. Even if it's with the help of a box or a chair or me, I pick people up, but I'm like, but we're going to do it multiple times.
Yeah, totally.
So that way they're less fearful. They learn how to get up. I had one woman that I that was our whole workout was like, okay, we're going to make our way down. It was very slow.
Yeah.
And that's what they're for. I'm like, we're going to take our time, but you're getting on the floor.
Yeah.
And then we get all the way down. I tell her where to put her knees. She didn't even know where to place her hands to safely get down. And then I was like, okay, now we're going to lay on her back. And she's like, oh God, oh no. And then when, and this was during COVID, actually the specific instance that I'm thinking of, but the family comes home because I was training their grandma and she's laying on the floor and they're like, oh, I'm like, no, she's there on purpose. She's okay, guys.
Nice.
She's just taking a break because it took a while to get there. Now she's catching her breath and we're going to stand up soon.
Totally.
But it's like capability. The only thing that matters is like, because this is the only house we have to live in.
Yep.
You know, it's like no matter how big and beautiful your house is, if this is failing, this is all that matters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It don't matter.
No, it really doesn't. So it's like mainly us leading by example is all we can do.
Yeah.
And then if we attract enough attention, then it's like we happily give our time and energy to like try and show them the way and push them through the harder times to get there.
Yeah.
Because life's not easy.
No.
You know, we've been through our own share of stuff. But
Yeah, a little bit.
right? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But because we've instilled this as our happy place and we know the benefits and we know what it feels like to feel good, we know that even if we're feeling crappy in something else in our life, this will make us feel good.
Amen.
You know, so we know that. So we just keep giving that to our clients, to your members. Like, and then when you also have that, you have that group setting and you have that community built, then they also start to push each other.
Yep.
Like you'll start to get friendships in class and they'll start to call each other being like, where are you? I haven't seen you in class. Totally. And it's like, then they have a community and we need that also, especially now with like everyone being on their screens.
Oh yeah.
You know, we don't have really community anymore. No. I mean, the gym, it's kind of hard to be on your phone when you're in the middle of like a deadlift or burpees or something. Totally. So since we all did it together, we're all on the same page, you actually connect with people a lot better in that sense. And we were designed to do all these things. The human body was designed to jump and climb and pick up things because we had to do
hunt,
that.
to gather, to get your food, to survive. Yeah.
Brain to get rid of all those extra issues, you know, so we were able to like make houses, you know, make cars so we can go further and make things easier and everything. But then because we're so good at it, now we're going on the opposite end of the spectrum where we don't even need to use our body.
Yeah.
But because we did that so quickly, our biological body didn't have the evolutionary time to surpass those needs.
The adaptation.
Exactly. So it's like the society went faster than this did. So we still are designed to do it all, but that's why we have gyms.
Yeah.
So like instead of a deadlift, it would have been the kill you just had.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the rope or something, it'd been a tree to get out of danger. Like instead of just going on a random run around town, it'd be literally running.
For your life. Yeah.
Running to get somewhere before it got dark.
Yeah, totally.
There was no light.
Oh.
So you had to get somewhere, you know, quickly.
Totally.
Walking is not going to be the best way. So just run until you get to a cave or somewhere to go for the night, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've known some people that have been homeless and they had to carry 60 pounds on their back, you know, to carry their life around. Wow. They had to run out of the elements with the 60 pounds on their back. Like that's like, so you had to use what your body was designed to do to live without the comforts that we have.
Totally.
So it's like, yes, the money makes life more comfortable, but if you have enough, you have to, you know, like there's obviously like a line. Like if you go to one side of the line or the other, something's going to be sacrificed.
Amen.
So yes, if I don't spend as much time on this or that or this on a business, but I get to have time for myself to do all the other stuff, I'm like, it's a fair trade.
Fair
like,
trade.
I'm cool with a car that's just gets me from A to B, and it's not like a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I don't need an amazing car, and I don't need a giant house. I just need somewhere to sleep, go to the bathroom and take a shower in privacy,
Totally.
and then heat up some food.
Yeah.
That's all I really need, because otherwise I get to be in the gym, I get to be outside because I'm physically capable.
Totally.
Like I can go on a walk, I can go on a hike, I can, you know, do this and that and do this and that. And I have the freedom to like go on a drive on the weekend because I have the one day off. And that's also a boundary. I don't train on Sundays. Like that's all the lines that I've like made on certain things. So it's like, cause like, I could train more people, but then I wouldn't work out.
Yeah. No.
That wouldn't make sense.
No.
Yeah, I could raise my prices tenfold, which is I am valuable, but then I wouldn't have the clientele that I have.
Yeah.
Because then I would have the people that could afford it, which is just a different type of clientele.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so I want to help the people that I can help.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I could go to Beverly Hills and stuff, and I could do this and that, and I have enough experience that would be worth $150 an hour. But
If not more.
I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, that's not about the money.
No.
It's about the life-changing
Yeah.
things. Like
The impact.
I love what I do so much. I would do it for free
Totally.
if that was
I
a
know.
thing.
Totally.
Like I would still be here if I wasn't getting paid, and I'd still be like, "Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?"
True.
But yes, you have to sometimes make it sting.
Yep.
You know, the value that I have, our time together. I mean, thankfully, my clients and I have built such a bond that sometimes I do forget to charge them, and they remind me.
Yeah. For sure.
They're like, "I didn't pay you last time." Like, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because I do need that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you came. I'm more excited that you're here.
Totally. Totally. Well, I love you. I really do.
I love you.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are not just an asset to my business, but the people around us. Because
Thank you.
we've now come to a point where we swap clients,
Yes.
which is really great.
It's
'cause-
just, yeah, different
Yeah.
aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good. I appreciate you. If you guys have gotten something out of this, great. Like it, share it, subscribe, do all the things. Daniela Zumwalt with Zumwalt Conditioning. Killer. Watch her in the games. She's actually a beast in the gym.
Thank you.
Let me just say, I'll still run faster, but I will not lift
He
heavier.
does. He
Yeah.
does.
So love you guys. On to the next one.
That's it for today's episode of Becoming Epic. If something stirred in you today, don't let it fade. Take one step, one rep, one bold move. You're not here to play small. You're here to rise, rebuild, and become who you were born to be. Remember, average is easy, epic is earned, and the only way out is through. I believe in you, but it's time you believe in you. Subscribe, share, join the movement, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, go be epic.